There's a box sitting in the laundry aisle of almost every grocery store in America, and 9 out of 10 people walk right past it without ever picking it up. It costs less than $5. It's been on shelves since 1891, and it does something to your laundry that most detergent commercials would rather you never find out. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because once you understand where it actually comes from, the reason it works will make a lot more sense. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at your laundry room completely differently. 200 million years ago, there was no Mojave Desert. There was water, shallow mineral-rich lakes that sat under an ancient sky, slowly evaporating over thousands of years, leaving behind thick white mineral seams buried under the earth. One of those places is a small town in California literally named Boron. Another massive deposit sits in Turkey, which today produces more of this mineral than any other country on the planet. What was left behind in those dried-out lake beds is a compound called sodium tetraborate. You know it by a much simpler name, borax. Now here's where most people get confused, because borax has a complicated reputation. Some people call it a miracle mineral, others call it dangerous. The truth, like most things, sits in the middle, and understanding that middle ground is exactly what makes this useful instead of just another internet rumor. Borax is alkaline. When it dissolves in water, it pushes the pH of your wash water up, usually somewhere around 9, compared to the roughly neutral pH of plain tap water. That shift matters more than it sounds like it should. Protein-based residue, things like sweat, body oil, and certain food stains, break down more easily in an alkaline environment. That's not a marketing claim. That's basic chemistry that shows up in textile and cleaning science literature. It's the same reason old-school industrial laundries, hospitals, and hotels leaned on it for decades before branded detergent took over the category. Then there's the hard water problem, and if you live in most parts of the US, this one is probably affecting your laundry right now, whether you know it or not. Tap water in a lot of regions carries dissolved calcium and magnesium. Those minerals bind to the surfactants in your detergent, the actual cleaning agents, before they ever get a chance to touch your clothes. So a portion of what you're paying for in that $18 detergent bottle is neutralized before it does anything. Borax binds to those same calcium and magnesium ions and pulls them out of the water, which is essentially water softening in a box. Your existing detergent doesn't get replaced, it gets unlocked. And this is the part that surprises people the most. That musty smell that lives in gym bags, towels, cloth diapers, and especially front-load washing machines isn't actually being removed by most detergents. It's being masked by fragrance. The bacteria and oxidized oils causing the smell are still sitting in the fabric fibers, waiting to come back the second the fabric gets warm or damp again. In an alkaline environment, those odor-causing compounds actually break apart into water-soluble salts and rinse away. That's the difference between covering a smell and ending it. So if this is genuinely this effective, and it has over a century of institutional use behind it, why did it quietly disappear from most households under 50? The answer isn't a conspiracy. It's simpler and, honestly, a little more human than that. Between the 50s and the 70s, the big consumer goods companies, the Procter & Gamble's and Unilevers of the world, built entire product lines around convenient, all-in-one detergent formulas. And that convenience genuinely mattered to people. But a $5 box of a raw mineral that lasts 3 months doesn't fit a business model built on replenishment every 2 weeks. Nobody needs to be pretending it doesn't work. It just doesn't sell the way a proprietary bottle does, so it stopped getting shelf space and stopped getting marketing dollars, and an entire generation simply grew up without ever being introduced to it. Now, before you go dump a full cup into your next load, I want to be straight with you, because half of the videos on this topic skip the part that actually matters. Borax is not something you casually ingest, and it shouldn't be treated like it's harmless in every form. It's also not something you should use on silk or wool, because those are protein-based fibers, and the same alkaline reaction that breaks down odor molecules can also break down the fibers themselves over time. And in the European Union, regulators have actually restricted general consumer sale of borax over concerns tied to high-level repeated exposure, which is worth knowing even if typical laundry use, where it dissolves and rinses away, is a very different exposure scenario than industrial handling. This isn't a reason to panic. It's a reason to use it the way it was designed to be used, and not the way a viral video tells you to use it for shock value. Here's how that actually looks in practice. For a normal load, half a cup added directly to the drum before your clothes go in. For heavily soiled workwear or sports gear, a full cup. For a washing machine that's developed that low-level sour smell that never fully goes away, an empty hot cycle with half a cup once a month clears out the buildup sitting in the drum and door seal. The same buildup a lot of people assume is just what an aging machine smells like. It works best above about 60 degrees Celsius, so cold water cycles will still benefit, just not as dramatically, which is an honest limitation, not a reason to write it off entirely. What gets me the most about all of this isn't the chemistry, it's the timeline. A mineral that formed millions of years before humans existed ended up solving a problem that mass-market detergent quietly created in the first place. Residue buildup, reduced absorbency, smells that never fully go away. And it's been sitting on the same shelf the entire time, $5 a box, completely unpatented, completely unownable. Nobody buried this information. It just stopped being profitable to talk about. If this changed the way you think about that box in the laundry aisle, you already know what to do with it. And if there's one thing worth remembering after watching this, it's that the oldest solution in the room is sometimes still the best one. It just never had a marketing budget behind it.